and politics and music, which are both very important to my first guest, Billy Bragg.
Strong and warm and wild and free. Sexuality. Your laws do not apply to me.
So is this one of your favourite views in London, then?
It is a classic view, isn't it, the House of Commons. It does look like it's been there for like thousands of years. It's actually only been there about 150 years. The one that was there before got burned down. This one's quite a recent one.
I didn't realise it was that recent.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Westminster, I find myself in a lot doing political work, you know, particularly when we were working with Red Wedge. A lot of that happened around here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you came in on a sort of political wave. Are you still keen to keep that wave afloat, as it were?
Yeah, of course. I think it's the duty of every artist to try and make some reflection of the society that they're in. And I think part of the legacy of Britain in the 1990s is from Margaret Thatcher, and that is that our society's been heavily politicised.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say that that's not the role of an artist. An artist is just there to entertain and not to mention politics.
Well, I don't think that's really true. I think part of entertainment is to try and put some perspective on events that are happening. Surely not everything has to be escapist. I mean, you know, there's enough. If you want escapism and if you want stuff without any real kind of like, you know, cultural reflection in it, there's plenty of things you can go and do. But surely in something like pop music, you know, modern popular culture has a duty to reflect the society it comes from.
Sex doesn't mean no sex, it just means use your imagination. Stop playing with yourselves. We can't currency ourselves. I look like Robert De Niro. I drive a Vixen Ricky Zero. Sexuality.
The trick to having a long career doing this job and still be able to do gigs and still be able to be making a mark in, you know, 10 years' time is not to have a huge overnight success. That's often the kiss of death. You know, you kind of like shoot up into everybody's perception and then straight back out again. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't still be doing this in 10 years' time. But, you know, it doesn't have to be on a huge scale. I don't have to be playing Wembley Stadium. You know, if I'm just doing kind of like, you know, clubs and the occasional theatre and stuff like that, I'll be happy doing this. I mean, it's my job.
But it has to be said, you don't actually ram it down people's throats, do you?
No
I mean,
point.
You do put it in your lyrics.
There's no point in ramming it down people's throats. That's the job of them people who work in there, to ram politics down our throats. Mine is to try and, you know, entertain people first and foremost, but also do it with a dimension that hopefully makes them think a bit. You know, but I don't want to... The people who work over there in the Houses of Parliament try and kid us that they have all the answers. I don't think the role of artists is not to give people answers. The role of artists is to raise questions and to try and, you know, provoke people into asking the questions themselves.
Do you think you can do anything? You think you can achieve anything?
I don't think you can change the world, but you can certainly be a catalyst for change, but not in a situation where there isn't already change happening in society. You know, the civil rights movement in the United States of America in the 60s didn't happen because Bob Dylan wrote Blowing in the Wind. It's the opposite, you know. Dylan was inspired by civil rights and wrote the song. So, I mean, I think it's wrong to try and, you know, it disappoints you because if you try and kid people that, yeah, you can change the world by buying Billy Bragg records, I think that's the worst sort of exploitation.
Goodbye and good luck to all the rubbish that you've spoken. Goodbye and good luck for all the promises you've broken. Your life has lost its dignity, its beauty and its passion. You're an accident waiting to happen.
Whenever we do see anything political, it's always on this lawn.
It is. This is a very famous lawn. This is it's where politicians come to get their boots muddy. As you know, probably you know, the TV companies plug in live over there, and they have a minion from the House of Lords who comes and cleans their shoes. I love to see that, particularly if it's a really cold night. There's nothing that pleases me more than to see one of those sort of like kept in the warm in the inside there, standing out here on the you know, obviously freezing cold and trying to look, very often red-nosed, trying to look kind of like, you know, vaguely human.
And you're still going to keep chipping away with your political messages?
I don't think there's any alternative for me as far as I'm concerned. When I don't write songs that have some kind of meaning, you know, when I try and write songs that are just absolute escapist and nothing in them, I just can't, I don't feel, I have to sing songs with conviction, and for that to happen, that has to have meaning, you know.
A man of commitment and all-round good egg, Billy Bragg.